What's up, everybody? Welcome back to No More Future. You know the drill, just subscribe, like, comment, but other than that, let's get right on to the game, pretty much. Last we left off, looks like we'll be introduced with two new characters, maybe? I don't know, maybe. His partner, a slightly more meek bunny, appears at first glance far less harsh than him in both body and gaze. However, his stiff body language leaves no doubts as to his feelings towards you. Oh, so he's a bit B-word, you know? You easily tower over both of them from your 6 feet and half of carbon and metal. However, you don't find that fact very reassuring right now. You'd probably be sweating right now if you were still capable of it. You've been approached by officers while in this new body before, but last time they definitely didn't have their hands hovering over their holstered mag pistols like that. They're on edge of that, you're quite sure, and not just because you're extremely on edge yourself. You divert your gaze from them as fast as you can and try to speed up your pace, but you hear the bear's voice beckoning you nevertheless. Hey, you! You pretend you didn't hear that. It seems to work at first. Until you find the grizzly standing right in the middle of your way out, his hands molded into fists, his face possibly even angrier than it was before. You spot his partner rapidly approaching him from behind, looking a little upset and afraid, perhaps due to the bear charging forward without him, or perhaps due to him charging forward at all. You truly have no time for this. Exactly, we need to skedaddle out of here, man. I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry, could I just... You try to dart past the man, but he sidesteps in the way yet again. You're going nowhere until we're done here, is that clear? Bo, big bad bear to the rescue, huh? You're lucky you don't have eardrums, or that scream would have definitely broken them. Perhaps he's a little too used to the loud noises of the mag trains, much like the rest of the regulars here. Out of curiosity, you glance back toward the stairs where you came from. No good. The smaller rabbit's already there, blocking that way as well. You're completely surrounded, man. The gruff officer makes as if to speak once more as he slowly circles around you. Well, where's this big hunk of scrap heading off to, huh? His tone is aggressive, mocking, and pleasant, but luckily he's a little quieter than before. Unluckily, that doesn't make him any more fun to listen to. You decide to feign ignorance. I'm sorry, you're talking to... He's asking where you're going in such a rush. You turn your head around in surprise. This time it's a rabbit behind you who speaks, clarifying his partner's question so that you have no wiggle room to evade it. He speaks much more calmly at the very least, however that only makes his restrained hostility all the more apparent. It appears that nothing you do will save you from this conversation. No matter how hard you try. Well, I guess there are some people that are just pissy in a bad mood. They're trying to good cop, bad cop on Isaac. Man, if Isaac was like a Terminator, he'd wallop these guys. Well, technically he is. He's just pussing out, you know. Maybe just being upfront about what you're doing will get these officers off of you. It's reasonable enough to assume so, you think? Nope, it doesn't work like that. Nope. You'd think they'd be reasonable, but funny enough, most people aren't reasonable at all. I'm just heading to the Pandora Labs down in the city center, you know, big building, lots of windows, huge crystal ball at the top for who knows what reason. You quickly pick up that the grizzly is not amused by your description for some reason. It's just a quick visit, then I go straight home. So, can I go? You think that'll cut it? Ha! For a walking calculator, you sure can't put 2 and 2 together. Wow. What a jackass, man. What a rude bastard. I want to know who you're meeting, what you're doing, and when you're doing it too while you're at it, and I won't accept half-ass answers. What? That's insane. That's all private information. You can't just stop me in the middle of the street and ask me for... Oh, what's this? Sounds like someone's resisting arrest. Wouldn't you say so, boy? First of all, you aren't arresting anyone. So, and second of all, Yeah, you're questioning this person. It's in this. This is America, right? It was pre-established. He could use the Fifth Amendment. That's his right. Do not talk. The policeman nods confidently to his partner behind you, a smug grin on his face. I'm what now? Since when am I getting arrested? Did you lose your mind along with your manners? Oh my god, Isaac clapping back. Huh? What was that? The grizzly is practically shouting right in your face right now, much to your annoyance. Yes, what was yes, what was that? For a moment, it sounded as if you were starting to stand up for yourself. You roll your eyes as you hear the AI sarcastically mock you inside your head. It's gotta be annoying. Ah, not you too. Can't you just keep quiet until this is all over? My apologies. I will remain quiet until the officers deliver you to the police station then. Yeah, you do that until... Wait, what do you mean with... They're not actually going to bring me in, are they? That's it, you're coming with us, you little freak. Right, as you're about to rebuke Arthur's taunts, you feel the rough fur of the bear's hand as he wraps it tightly around your wrist and begins pulling you somewhere. Or tries to, anyway. It will probably take him a solid minute to move you just 1 foot away from where you currently stand. Either you somehow weigh more than you thought you did, or he's really out of shape, I'm pretty sure. 200 pounds isn't easy, fam. And he's metal, so his center weight, or his balance pretty much, his center of gravity is not as, it's so balanced that it's evenly distributed, you know what I'm saying? So if you try to move a hunk of metal, it's like a big ass fridge, 2 fridges equivalent to be exact, or more, it's not gonna nudge that easily. Eventually, his rabbit buddy tries to help him by pushing as hard as he can, but that hardly improves the situation. You can't help but feel like their efforts are entirely pointless, if not ridiculous. When you think about it, this whole situation is hilarious. You're a massive android that easily towers over both of them, yet you're still afraid as if these men have any real power over you. You still view them as you did back when you were human, but lots of things have changed since then, haven't they? That's right, Mary told you what to do in a situation like this before. It's about time you ended this charade. Ugh, move already, you big fat hunk of... Suddenly, quickly, you track your arm towards your chest, instantly freeing it from the policeman's tight grasp. Woefully unprepared, the man ends up flopping to the floor, but first staring at you with flabbergasted eyes from just a few feet away. Realizing what just happened, the bunny stops his futile attempts at moving you and takes a few steps backwards, and a few more as you turn to face him for a second. Listen, I'm not going anywhere with you two, not now, nor ever, is that clear? As the grizzly gets back up on his feet, you hear his shouting become even more hysterical. Oh, you've done it now, fucker! You think you're gonna get off with something small like loitering or disturbing the peace, huh? Resisting arrest, insulting a public official, assaulting an officer of the law. The bear would certainly sound more threatening if his tone didn't get higher with every meaningless accusation he throws at you. With the notes he's hitting, perhaps opera singing was a better career choice for him. I'll send you to the scrapyard if it's the last thing I... Shut the fuck up. You can't arrest me for anything and you know it. You think I'm just gonna agree to everything you say? That I'm gonna be so afraid of you? That I'm gonna be so afraid of you that I won't know what to do? The loud policeman makes as if to say something, but you stop him before he can even begin. I know my rights and my lack thereof. I know what you can and cannot do. And I know that you do as well. That's why you haven't dared to call for backup, because you know that I'm simply out of your league. How dare you? You have no idea of... I'm leaving, with or without your approval. Now if you'll excuse me... Without further ado, you step around the two men and begin heading toward the exit once again, trying to ignore the roaring shouts of the grizzly behind you. After what feels like ages, you might have just managed to get rid of them. However, just as you're about to turn the corner and lose sight of them, you hear the rabbit's voice shout at you once again. You thought the first officer's voice was loud, but clearly being noisy and annoying is a trait many in the force share. Enter code Alpha 122321. Cease all functions and activities at once. His words are fast, but you can feel the uncertainty in his voice as he spells them out loud. You turn to face him for the last time. You can perfectly see every drop of sweat stream down his neck as he realizes you're not going to heed his commands. Really? That's your last resort. For some reason, I thought you were smarter than that. You almost laugh as the bunny's cheeks start flaring up from the embarrassment. A government-issued deactivation code for Pandora C-grades, I assume. Give me a break. You'd never heard such code shouted out loud before, certainly not at you, which is definitely a good thing, you reason. Had you heard that before, it likely would have been in the middle of an emergency of some kind, and then you would have had to be rescued by these sorts of people. As you prepare to leave the scene, you turn to face the two officers one last time. Oh, and for the record, you gather up all your rage for one final jab at the two men, who are still too stunned to talk back at you. I am not a goddamn AI, you pricks. And with that last shout, you take your leave, leaving the two stunned policemen behind without a care in the world. After overcoming the initial shock, the bear begins to call out to you, ordering you to return. You can't bring yourself to listen. He has no power over you either way. You exhale all your leftover stress. Through a lengthy sigh, it took a few minutes. But you're finally through with that insanity. Twice in 3 days, those idiots just can't leave me alone, can they? Is this how it's gonna be from now on? Forever? Assholes bothering me every other day just because they can? Yeah. Even a normal human, such as I, would, experience some of that crap, even at my own house. Interesting enough. What do they even want from me anyway? It's like they're doing that just for shits and giggles. Worrying, perhaps I and my fellow AI should start writing formal complaints about humans stealing our jobs. For once, you don't have to try too hard to ignore Arthur's jabs. You're far too busy mulling over what just transpired to think of anything else. I still don't understand why those guys have it out for me this bad. I get that I'm a high-tech prototype or whatever, but that doesn't explain anything. I didn't expect my life to suddenly become easier after the transition, but I definitely didn't think it'd become this bad either. I really don't know what to think. I was never stopped like that by an officer before when I was still human. It's like I have a big target on my head now and everyone wants to take a shot. You feel yourself shivering as you briefly relive the events that just transpired, although it's more of an act than a real bodily function. God, I still can't believe I actually said those things. To a policeman, no less. I really hope Mary knows what she's doing, telling me that it's fine to go all out like that. I'm starting to think the whole New Relay Police Department has it out for me by now. It certainly is now, if it wasn't before. Not saying it's your fault, of course, even though it definitely was. Oh, shut it, you annoying overpriced. You leave the train station just the same as you arrive, arguing with a voice inside your head that nobody else can hear. Instead of a jail or scrapyard, perhaps you'd be better off at a mental institution. Stressed and in dire need of some rest, you leave through the building's front glass doors and take your first steps into the shining city beyond. Hopefully, as you head towards the labs, you'll find something to distract you from all these problems you seem to be running into as of late. You remember walking through these streets a few days ago alongside Mary and some of her staff, and a mob of relentless journalists gawking from a fair distance away. You never got a chance to appreciate the city that day, for obvious reasons, now that you're almost by yourself. However, you can finally spend some time to take in the wondrous sights of modernism, I guess. New Relay is a city of technology and innovation, except for the people, I guess. And it shows. Every house and apartment complex is compact and efficient in its design, while also showing some modicum of personality. There are exotic gardens on every lawn and solar panels on every roof, but that's about where the similarities between the different properties end. Big splashy swimming pools, meticulously crafted steel gazebos, multi-purpose sports fields. Everywhere you look, there's something crazy to feast your eyes upon, and as if the houses were competing with one another to come up with the coolest design or the most unique gimmick. It's almost like someone built an amusement park right in these people's neighborhoods, a very empty amusement park right now.